smile a little bit. Smile.
Ah, Bach.
That's nice. Very good. It's not bad.
Ah, Bach indeed. You know, it's hard to really put into words how important Bach is, but I'm going to try anyway. You know, if Beethoven is my revolutionary superhero, and composers like Stravinsky and Jean-Philippe Rameau are my bad boy buddies, Bach, without a doubt, has to be the supreme deity of the musical universe for me. There's no one above him. And his music just has such a way of inspiring and centering you when you play it, not only when you listen to it. There are times when, you know, I'm feeling a little bit down and I'll come up to my studio and I'll turn the lights down and I'll play some solo Bach, and then all of a sudden everything is right with the world. And the other thing about Bach is that no matter what instrument you play his music on, and I'm talking about the instruments that he never ever had the chance to write for because a lot of them didn't exist, it sounds great. It still sounds fantastic. And the same can't be said for everyone's music. You know, when I was a kid, I heard an orchestra of 50 accordions give a performance of Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. After years of therapy, I'm doing better. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't happening for me. But with Bach, you can play it on anything and it still sounds magnificent. You're gonna get to hear three of our friends today, Eliza, Rita, and Laura, play some beautiful solo compositions that he wrote. And we're going to hear some other interesting things. But to prove the point that you can play Bach on anything and it still sounds magnificent, we're going to go right now and we're going to play a couple of the two-part inventions, the 15 two-part inventions for harpsichord. But Sherry Rubins and I are going to do them in a very different way. We're going to play them, me on my violin and her on the vibraphone. The vibraphone is an instrument you might be more familiar with in jazz settings, Lionel Hampton, the Modern Jazz Quartet, Milt Jackson, fantastic artists on this instrument, but it is also an instrument used in the modern orchestra in contemporary compositions. And it's one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful instrument, and Sherry does such a great job on it. So we hope you enjoy these 4 two-part inventions and the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, I'm excited to play some Bach for you today. There isn't a lot of solo Bach that was written for just the viola. We do have some viola da gamba sonatas that we perform on our modern instruments. And of course we co-opt the 6 unaccompanied suites for cello. They also work really well on the viola because of course we have the same strings as the cello, just an octave up. And when Craig asked us to play some Bach, it was so hard to whittle down which movement I wanted to play because they're all just such jewels. Whenever I need to remind myself that I'm a musician after a lot of meetings, or if I'm processing something emotionally, a lot of times I'll just get out my book of the 6 unaccompanied suites and start at the beginning and just start playing through them until I feel better. But in cases when I don't have a lot of time, the movement that I always go straight to is the one that I'm going to play for you today. And I just love it because it has a lot of intimate moments and gives me a lot of solace. So I hope that you find your own ways to interpret this movement of Bach, and I hope that you enjoy it. Please take care.
So here's something to help you win your next trivia contest. Did you know that you can spell things using the musical alphabet in music? And of course, if you want someone else to be able to understand what you're trying to tell them, they have to be able to read music. But one of the things that is most often spelled, very common among composers, is the name Bach. Of course, this is a Bach-themed program. You knew where I was going, right? But you're going to say, wait a minute, there's an H in there, so how does that work? Well, this is how it works. In the German musical alphabet, you can spell his name, because B is actually B flat. So you end up with these 4 notes. You get B flat, A natural, C natural, and B natural, which is H in the German musical alphabet. So there we've got Bach, and it's a very ominous sounding little motif indeed. And a lot of composers have used it to compose entire pieces of music. Most of them fugues, I think, are the most common, which is of course Bach's most, well-known idiom. We always think about Bach fugues. So we've got Anton Webern, we have Brahms has done this, many composers, Franz Liszt, and I want you to hear a little snippet of a piece that he composed for organ. It's called Prelude and Fugue on the name Bach. And Hawley, you have your organ? Yeah, you do. Okay, he's got his organ shoes on. Would you fire it up? Go ahead and play it, Hawley. So for those of you at home who were keeping count, Franz very tastefully spelled out the name Bach 7 times in a row. So if you didn't get it the first time, you had 6 more chances. And then he goes on and he bases an entire fugue on this theme. Well, now we're going to hear another composer's take on that, and that's Robert Schumann. And this is from his Opus 60, 6 Fugues on the name Bach. And he does the exact same thing with the same 4 notes. And we're going to play number 3 for you in a version for string quartet. And listen to the first 4 notes that I play, and then listen to the first 4 notes when the viola enters and the first 4 notes when the cello enters. And he's busy there spelling out Bach, and it happens many more times. So see if you can spot them all.
Linard, principal flute of the Mid-Texas Symphony, and I'm so glad to be able to play some Bach for you today. Bach used the flute in many of the cantatas that he wrote for church services, and he used it as a solo instrument in 3 of his Brandenburg concertos. Bach wrote 6 sonatas for the flute and keyboard, all in different keys. The selection I'll be playing today is actually from his solo work for the flute called Partita in A minor. This work is from the early 1720s and was written in the form of a dance suite. The movements, Allemande, Courante, Sarabande, and Bourrée, were originally played on the one-keyed Baroque flute. I'll be playing the Sarabande movement, which in the 1500s was a quick and bawdy dance in 3 from Spain. Over time, the dance calmed down and slowed down and is now more like a stately minuet. Here's the Sarabande from the Partita in A minor, played on the modern flute. Hope you enjoy.
For our next work, we're going to turn to the American violist and composer Christian Weller. Christian is the recently retired assistant principal viola of the St. Louis Symphony, and he's also a very prolific composer, having written many works for solo stringed instruments and string ensembles. That's the idiom that he works in primarily. The piece that we're going to play for you now, the movement, comes from a work that he titled Djembe, and the title comes from the conflation of two words, djembe and Bach. A djembe is an African drum, and you're going to see Sherry Rubins perform on a djembe when we play the piece, the movement, for you in just a moment. The Bach inspiration comes from Christian's experience playing the Bach solo cello suites in transcription for the viola, and his knowledge of the Bach solo violin partitas. Both the partitas and the cello suites are collections of dances. They are dance suites. And so in creating Djembe, he created a modern take on a Bach-styled dance suite. So we're going to play the second movement. It's called Allemande, and an Allemande is a very stately, graceful dance. So Allemande from Djembe with my friend Sherry Rubins on djembe. We hope you enjoy it.
I'm super excited that we have a Bach-themed concert prepared for you this week. To me, Bach really encapsulates what we strive to do as musicians, and he's the composer that I find myself most often turning to on a consistent basis throughout my career. I remember the very first concert I played that was kind of a big deal. I was little, and I played the Bach Double with my teacher, and that was like my first big performance experience. And all these years later, I still find myself reaching for Bach, whether I'm in need of working on my technique, my intonation, my bow control, or looking for something deeper, some spiritual sustenance, some really beautiful music, and a chance to express myself. The piece that I have prepared for you today is the Andante movement from the A minor sonata of the unaccompanied sonatas and partitas. This movement has always been one of my favorites. I remember the first time I heard it when I was a kid, I actually thought it was a duet, because as you'll hear, there's a very prominent bass line accompanying a beautiful melody on top. And if you didn't know better, you might think that it was two people playing. And the fact that it's all happening at once on one instrument by one person is sort of mind-blowing. And I still, every time I play it, I find something new to love about it. I hope that it brings you some peace during these turbulent times. I always feel that bass line is a little bit like heartbeat, and when I play it, I find my heartbeat kind of slowing into the music. And so I hope that maybe you can have a similar feeling, and that we can sort of share in that together. Even though we can't be together in person, I hope that we can still have a connection online. Craig, I want to thank you for inviting me to be a part of your concert series here. And to everybody at home, please enjoy. Thanks for listening.
And now, for the final work on our program, Hawley and I are going to perform the Sonata for Violin and Harpsichord in G minor by... who is it by? See, here's the problem. Originally, it was attributed to J.S. Bach, but a bunch of musicologists got together, did some sleuthing, and they decided that, in reality, they think it actually was composed not by J.S. Bach, but by his son, C.P.E. Bach, Carl Philipp Emanuel. Carl Philipp Emanuel, and of course he's got his two other famous brothers, Johann Christian J.C. and Wilhelm Friedemann W.F., were very prominent composers following in their father's footsteps, but each with their own very individual style. C.P.E. Bach's style hews very closely to that of his father's. I think you'll hear some of that in this piece. In fact, you might even think that it's indistinguishable from a work by his dad. So a little bit about C.P.E. C.P.E. Bach, along with his brothers, was sent by their dad to law school, and he got a degree in law, but he never ever practiced law. He spent his entire life as a very prolific composer, a lot of works for the keyboard. He was very, very prolific in that area. And he was known as the Hamburg Bach because he was the Kapellmeister at the court of Hamburg, and he succeeded his boss, Georg Philipp Telemann, who last week you heard Donnie play a beautiful Fantasia by him for flute, but on the trombone. Telemann was also a close personal friend of J.S. Bach, and it is his name, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. The Philipp comes from Georg Philipp Telemann, who was his godfather. So here's the three-movement sonata in G minor, performed by myself and Mr. Hawley Griffin. We hope that you enjoy it. great. Well, we've reached the end of our program for today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I want to say thank you to all of my friends and colleagues who have collaborated with me this week and in the past programs. And of course, I want to say thank you also to Jason Earl and Ellen Salyers and Akiko Fujimoto. Why am I going there? Because unfortunately, I have to tell you that today is, well, let's call it our season finale. This is the last program that we're going to do for a little while. We're going to take a little break. And sometime in the fall, hopefully early fall, we'll be back with more digital content. We're going to take a little time to explore how we're doing that and maybe how we could do it differently. So stay tuned, stay dialed in, and that way you'll know what to expect and when to expect it. So this isn't really goodbye. It's more like hasta la vista, because I'll be back with all my friends, and we will continue to play for you. But if you want us to live, you must support the Mid-Texas Symphony. That means you in Seguin, you in Kleine Braunfels, and you in Canyon Lake. So, sit back, keep listening. Sorgi Brothers playing beautiful aria from my Goldberg variations. Be smart, be safe, stay healthy, and I will see you soon. Hasta la vista, baby.